Hi, today let's have a look at the batch tracking feature for your inventory in Tally Prime. Let's get started. To enable that feature, you can go to Company, click on the Features option. If you don't see these additional options, make sure that you have selected the option to show all the features. And here you can enable the batches by typing yes or Y. If you want to track the expiry date also along with the batches, then you can select this option for tracking of expiry dates. Otherwise, you can click on accept and save this. Now, what will happen is when you're creating an inventory item, you go to create and stock item. Let's try to create one item. Let's call it National Paint White 20-liter pail. And in this particular example, we are going to measure it in pieces, and now we have got some additional information for maintaining this item with batch numbers. So I'm going to select yes. Now this is only an example. If you want to maintain it for any item, you can enable it, and then you'll be able to track the purchase and sale along with the batch number. Now I don't want to provide any additional information at this stage, so I'm going to click accept and save this record. Escape to come out and go back to Gateway of Tally. Now I'll go to Vouchers, click on Purchase, and I'm going to record one transaction of purchase. So let's say I select my supplier over here. I'm going to create a new one, and that one is National Paints Factory. Under Sundry Creditors, and they do not offer any credit period to me, so I'm not going to select anything, so I'm going to click accept. Select the purchase account applicable. If you don't see the purchase account at the top of the header, you can configure it by clicking on F12 or clicking on this configure button and making sure that you select common ledger account for item allocation is turned on to yes. Now we'll select the National Paint item, and immediately the system wants to know what is the batch number. So let's say this is batch 101. What quantity are we purchasing? 20 pieces, and each one costs us, let's say, 125 dirhams. So on and so forth. You can add multiple items, and at the end you can select VAT, so the tax will get calculated automatically. Once you have provided the required information, you can save this transaction by moving on by clicking the enter key or clicking on the accept button from here, and the purchase is recorded. Now I'll go back to the Gateway of Tally and look at the stock summary. I've got the National Paints option available here, and when I look at it in detailed way, now I can click on this option Alt, and then I will see different options shortcuts appearing here, or I can click on this arrow and click on detail, or you can also press the shortcut key which is highlighted here in blue color. So if I press Alt, I can use these keys which are underlined over here. The ones which are lined or the double underlined, you can use it using the control key on your keyboard. So if you press Control B, it will go to basis of values like this. So here when I click on the detailed option, I can see that National Paint and what is the batch number, so I can see all my inventory by the respective batches. Going back to the vouchers, if you are selling this item, so let's say you want to make a sale of this particular National Paint to a cash customer, and then select your item, and immediately it wants to know that you are selling this item and delivering it from which particular batch. So I want to select batch 101 since I have only one batch over here. This is the price and quantity. Select the tax, which gets calculated automatically. And once you're okay with it, if you don't want to go through all the steps, just click on accept and the sales invoice will be saved. Easy. So let's go back to the Gateway of Tally, look at the stock summary report, press the detailed option. You can see the batch number, enter to drill down, enter again to see all the transactions. And then here now you can see that for one particular item, for one batch, when did you buy it and to which customers you've sold it. So you'll be able to track the history of the entire batch for all the purchase, sales, returns and everything in one place. That's simple and easy. That's how easy it is to set up and use. If you need any help in setting up an ERP or accounting system for your company, We at Cefi Computers provide this, and we've been here since 2011. We've been providing installation, training and implementation support for our clients, and we also do customization of the product based on your requirements. Feel free to get in touch. You can find the link in the description. Moving on, now we will see how to record return of sales from a customer, and also we can record a return of purchase to a supplier. Now for that, we'll go to vouchers, and here we'll have other vouchers option. The credit note option is for your customer sales return. So we'll select credit note, and let's select 5th of November as the date. And now one of my customers, Al-Zafar Trading Company, wants to return. So I'm going to select that, select the ledger, and select the item that they are returning. So let's say they're returning WD-40 one piece, which I sold them for 50. Now, depending on the tax requirements of the country that we are operating in, there would be additional information which could be asked. For example, in UAE, it is required that when you're recording a credit note, you provide the original tax amount and original taxable value for that particular product. So let's say the original tax amount and value were like this, and then I can select the type of reference. Now if there are any due invoices, then I can select the against option and mark it, or select it against the due invoice. In this case, since I don't have any due invoice, I can say that okay, this is on account, or I can give it a new reference. So I'm going to give it a new reference. I'll just call it credit note 1, and I will accept it to save the changes. That's how you record a credit note or a return from the customer. On the same lines, you can also record a return to your supplier. So I'll go to other vouchers here. Now for the returning purchase returns, you have the option of selecting and entering a debit note. Select the debit note option, enter the date, select the supplier, and then I have got the purchase account. Which item am I returning? Same thing, WD-40. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Select the VAT account to be adjusted, accept it, and then I want to map it against an invoice because this invoice is already open. It is still due. So I'm going to select that and click on accept. That's how you record your purchase returns. Simple and easy. For more information, you can get in touch. You can find the link in the description where you can contact us, and we can help you with your software setup and training. That's it for today. Thank you and have a nice day.